Hey all, Mark Slane with the United States Krav Maga Association here. Today talking about Fear No Man. I'm sure you've seen them on the internet or you've gotten the emails from systems that truly that's their headline, Fear No Man. They say things like face 3 knife welding attackers and win, or face multiple opponents without fear. This stuff makes my stomach hurt. I just want to punch somebody in the head for saying such a stupid thing. My opinion is we'd better fear man. There are some predators out there who have wiped out entire families without any remorse at all. They will go through you without a care. You know, they kill. They've been violent all their life. Truly, people that are that way, they've lived violence. They've had violence since they were young. They have done violence way more practice than we'll ever have, defending against violence. So these people, they're good at what they do. One thing we tell our law enforcement people is, this is something Brandon Hicks, who is the USKMA's co-lead instructor, he discovered this and it scared him to death. If you've studied Colonel Boyd's OODA loop principle, basically he was figuring this stuff out for fighter pilots. And he came up with the conclusion that after 5 air-to-air combat, that pilot was pretty much unbeatable. Okay, he gets through the loop so fast that he's unbeatable after 5 real-life air-to-air combat. Then Brandon was reading the FBI's report on scumbags that kill or try to kill officers, and the scary thing to him was he found out that the average deadly force encounters that a scumbag has had before he kills a cop or attempts to kill a cop is 5. So again, these people are way better and practice way more at this violence than we can. In one of my lectures, we talk about real-world violence, and I talk about, this is probably, I don't know, 10 years ago, a Special Forces soldier was back in Florida, back in his hometown, from, I believe it was Afghanistan. This man was a stud. He is well-trained. He has probably taken people's lives. He was, a warrior. He got into an altercation in a bar. Just, it sounds like the guy wasn't really big. He was a regular guy, and it was just supposed to be a monkey dance. They were pushing on each other, and the Special Forces soldier, he slipped, fell down, and hit his head on some metal and died. Okay, if that man wasn't unbeatable and fear no man, how in the world can I train you and tell you that I will make you unbeatable? I will show you how to fear no man. This stuff is crazy. Truly, we train RBT, realistic-based training, with our officers, and this is pretty much what we're doing in our Krav Maga classes when we're doing those drills, when we're putting people through Hades. It's to see this stuff. Again, that Boyd principle, if we can live this through simulations, through realistic simulations, we are truly in our heads, our brains doesn't know the difference. We think we've been there and done that. So, the drills we do in class with the exhaustion and the multiple attackers, our students have probably done dozens and dozens of those. If someone ever does jump them on the street and it's a multiple attacker situation, they've been there and done that. That just gives them a much better chance of surviving. Training with realism, training under stress, training under exhaustion, all these things are what we do for a reason. The tests we put people through, I just had somebody ask me, why are your tests so hard? And basically, the more you sweat in training, the less you bleed in battle. We want to have that been there, done that feeling. So this stuff about fear no man, just ignore that stuff. They're trying to take your money. They really want people to believe there is specific techniques. If you knew these magic techniques, you'd be unbeatable. And techniques are going to degrade under stress anyhow. Techniques are not where it's at. If you can teach people to have a switch, to go from overwhelmed, uncomprehending, confused, to have them go forward with hatred and rage, to do the maximum amount of damage in the minimum amount of time, and then get out of there, we are truly training people to be cautious of man, to fear man enough to train to be able to defeat them. So again, ignore the stuff. It's just a way to take your money. That's not based on any truisms. Again, we should fear man. We should be leery of man. We should train our butts off because there are scumbag, violent people out there. And as Rory Miller says, the only defense against these violent criminals are for us to take that weapon of violence and perfect it, to be better with violence than they are. So again, Krav Maga, we won't teach you to fear no man, but we'll teach you the most realistic self-defense, battle-tested self-defense we can come up with. Be safe. Mark Slane, USKMA.